You are now in the dark. And today I'm going to talk about Hollywood's scary summers. From 1975 to this year, 2026, Hollywood has produced some amazing films that keep us going to the theater. Ironically, in the middle of the summer, we're inside in the dark. So we're going to cover what Hollywood has in store for us this year, what they've already given us, and the history of Hollywood's scary summers. The summer of 2026 began with an earth-shaking film called Obsession. Obsession is a psychological thriller directed by Curry Barker, and he spent somewhere between $750,000 and $1 million to make this film. And it has been a box office behemoth, grossing more each week, actually grossing more each day than its previous day. It's pretty phenomenal. This film will live on to be a Hollywood classic, and I look forward to seeing what else Mr. Barker has in store for us in the future. Then we have Backrooms. Backrooms was directed by 20-year-old Kane Parsons. He's another YouTuber that based this film on an internet-born urban legend that surrounds liminal spaces and how frightening that can be. It is A24's biggest box office success to date, and I think this film will wind up being one of the biggest films of the summer for sure, and will provide us with more storytelling from Mr. Barker. I look forward to that. Of course, Hollywood isn't done with its summer 2026 film releases. As a matter of fact, in August, we're going to have The Ice Cream Man, directed by Eli Roth. This has been a long anticipated horror film that surrounds the concept of a ice cream vendor who rolls into this cute little summer town and doles out ice cream to children that turns them into homicidal maniacs. I can only imagine how frightening and exciting this story is going to be. Really looking forward to Ice Cream Man. And then towards the end of the summer, we're going to be looking for a little hope. Hope is a science fiction creature feature directed by Na Hong Jin that debuted at the Cannes Film Festival. It debuted to standing ovations there, and the film is now highly anticipated here in the United States. And I do believe we are in store for a great creature feature. Apparently, it looks like a blend between Quiet Place and Aliens, of which, of course, are legendary. And looking forward to it. Well, 2026 looks like it's going to be a banner year for horror films and Hollywood during the summer. I want to look back at some of our other classic summers that changed the face of moviegoing and Hollywood, specifically 5 years. There's a 5 year span between 1975 and 1980 where we not only had classic titles that were released, we also had classic monsters and villains that still live to this day in our pop culture. In 1975, we had a little film that was released in the summer called Jaws. Steven Spielberg released a classic. Not only a classic in our minds, but it's also a classic in the realm of Hollywood business. It created what is now referred to as the tentpole summer movie. And from that point forward, every studio in town has been looking for its Jaws. Some succeeded, some didn't. But Jaws still remains a classic. Don't be afraid to go in the water this summer. In 1976, we had a summer horror classic that still scares me to this day. I'm not going to lie. It's called The Omen. It starred Gregory Peck and Lee Remick as a couple who raised Damien. And it was the Antichrist. And this film was just insanely frightening. As a little kid that grew up with a very religious household, you can imagine how frightening this film remains to this day. 1977. Let's be real, the summer of 1977 belonged to Star Wars. There was nothing else to talk about. We're just going to move on. Now, while 1978 did have some summer horror films like Damien, Omen 2, and Piranha, 1978 will always be heavily associated with Halloween. Even though Halloween was not a summer film, several of its sequels and prequels were. And Halloween continues to be a go-to, and Halloween is another one of those titles that will remain in our pop culture conscious for a very long time. In 1979, we were treated to a masterpiece, Ridley Scott's Alien. Alien starred Sigourney Weaver, who played the character Ellen Ripley. Now, Ridley Scott not only gave us Ellen Ripley, but he also gave us the Xenomorphs, which still live on to this day in on the streamers, in the movie theater, and there's more coming. It just remains a mainstay in the science fiction and horror genres, and I'm looking forward to more from the Xenomorphs and the Alien universe. And finally, 1980. 1980 was Friday the 13th and summer camp horror. Summer camps will never be the same. Not only did we get Friday the 13th as a classic horror film, but we also got Jason and the hockey mask. It's just legend. And the movies keep coming. No doubt there will be more in the future. And we'll see what happens in Camp Crystal Lake, I should say. Of course, we've had other classic films released during the summer, like The Blair Witch Project, which was groundbreaking, the way it was shot, but also the way it was marketed. It was really brilliant and box office phenomenon. And then we also had The Sixth Sense that same year, actually, which gave us the classic line, I see dead people. And Nope, which has most recently Nope, which is an amazing film. I will continue to watch that over and over again. I can't get enough of it. So, which one of these titles is your favorite? We will see you scared in the dark.